Air Force wins the Mountain Division at 6-2.
San Diego State going to take an 8-game winning streak into the conference championship game.
And this is not your mom and dad's Air Force. You look at San Diego State, boy, they're on a roll right now.
Downhill at you and gone. Donnell Pumphrey is home free.
Roberts down the middle, wide open again. Tim McVeigh scores his 5th touchdown.
Air Force Academy, they're on a mission. San Diego State, they feel good about what they're doing and who they are.
And welcome everyone to the Sports Authority Mountain West Championship game. And what a day it's been for college football already, and a big night to come ahead. Tonight, 8-4 Air Force taking on 9-3 San Diego State. From Qualcomm Stadium here in San Diego, let's take a look at the standings in the Mountain West Conference, folks. Air Force at 8-4, 9-3 San Diego State. It came down to the last week of the season last week to determine who would host this game. Thus, via the computer model and the BCS model, we end up here in San Diego. We'll tell you all about that a little bit later, how we got to this point and what a journey it's been. Mark Jones alongside Rod Gilmore, Quinn Kesenick down on the sidelines joining us in just a bit. Rod, the Aztecs have won 8 consecutive games. Nobody's come closer than 14 points along the way, and DJ Pumphrey has been the guy that's been their huge man along this way.
Well, huge man in a very small package, about 5'9", 175. And when that's your size, you play with a chip on your shoulder, and he does. That's why he's the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year, more than 1,400 yards rushing, and he's the leading receiver for this team. He is a guy that gets it done. He is a guy that is chasing the Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk's records here at San Diego State, and he says he will get them.
In amongst some esteemed company as we go downstairs to Quint for more on the quarterbacking situation.
You never know when adversity is going to hit a college football team, and it hit San Diego State last week pretty hard in terms of losing their starting quarterback. Maxwell Smith, who engineered 8 straight wins, tore his left ACL in the first quarter last week. Enter a redshirt freshman, Christian Chapman. He went 6 of 9, but he only threw for 44 yards last week. He makes his first start today. As I said, redshirt freshman from Carlsbad. He's known for his mobility and quick release, but he is a complete question mark. Mark?
Yeah, coming onto the big stage, Quint, at a very interesting time. Hey, speaking of quarterbacks, Air Force, one of the top rushing teams in the country. So many moving parts, and Carson Roberts, their starting quarterback, since taking over Game 3, has pressed all the right buttons, Rod.
Well, you know it's the triple option when you talk Air Force rushing attack, and Carson Roberts, you know, he's not going to blow you away with his speed, but he is really adept at running this triple option. But the one thing that he does that scares the heck out of San Diego State is he throws the deep ball. They really confuse you, and he gets it out down the field, and all of a sudden there's a guy running free, and he's got another touchdown pass.
He makes it count when he does go through the air. Moments before kickoff, and the Aztecs have gone back to their illustrious past and summoned Marshall Faulk as part of the opening ceremonies here. Ready to kick in just a minute.
The 2015 Sports Authority Mountain West Football Championship game. Brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Jarrett, the Gallery of Jewelry.
Yes. We are set for kickoff here. Air Force taking on San Diego State, and as part of the opening ceremony,
man.
hey, this is Air Force Academy.
Whoa.
A lot of impressive hardware up in the sky and down on the field. As we take a look at Christian Chapman and his counterpart, Carson Roberts. San Diego State winning the toss, electing to receive, so they'll get possession to start this football game. We'll get a look at Chapman, Christian Chapman, early here. Now keep in mind, San Diego State has one of the top return men in the country with Rashad Penny. He's got 2 touchdowns on kickoff returns already this year.
Special teams special teams player of the year in the Mountain West Conference.
From the 2-yard line, it's Rashad Penny. They kick it to him. He's got an opportunity, and he's brought down at the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Christian Chapman. His numbers, as they stay in the statistics world, not a statistically significant sample. Just 6 of 9 last week on the season. 12 of 24 passing.
Well, I'm not saying that this is the easiest offense for a quarterback to step into, but you could do it. A caveman could. No, seriously. No, he's got a great offensive line and 2 great running backs, so he is supposed to hand the ball off, but Air Force wants to challenge him and make him throw it as much as possible.
First down and 10. 26-yard line for the Aztecs. Running out of the I formation, they give it to Pumphrey, and Pumphrey stopped up right around the line of scrimmage by Claude Alexander. It'll be second down at about 10. Rod, we get a chance to see a little more conventional, traditional football today with San Diego State style, right?
A tight end, a fullback.
What are they?
And a huddle. A huddle. Remember that back in the day?
Sounds so prehistoric. Second down and 10. Backs lining up in the I again. The fullback is Dakota Gordon. Pumphrey getting to the edge. Got the corner. And Donnell Pumphrey with a first down. Got a good block by Gordon, that fullback we were alluding to.
Well, if you want to know where the football is going, just watch number 46, Dakota Jordan. He's 5'10", 235 pounds. As he goes, so goes the football. Toss, sweep. Look at him get out there in the linebacker. All Pumphrey does is get right in his hip pocket.
13-yard gain on the play. Pumphrey comes into the night with 8 consecutive games of 100 yards rushing or more. First and 10 at the 39 for San Diego State. Pumphrey again out to the 43-yard line. Brought down by DJ Dunn, a gain of 4 on the play.
Pumphrey is not a huge back, 5'9", about 175, but they run him an awful lot in between the tackles.
So Falk with a very discerning and critical eye from the sidelines, the Hall of Famer. The career rushing leader here at San Diego State. And Pumphrey has said he wants to come back next year and try and break his record. Chapman looking to pass. And nowhere to go. Air Force brings him down. Kapula makes the tackle on the play. No gain. It'll be third down coming up.
Well, you want to get Chapman comfortable. You know, a couple of running plays, but until he completes that first pass, the butterflies won't go away. Couldn't find anybody to the right, couldn't find a guy to the left, and decides to run. He's a mobile guy, but until he completes that first pass, the butterflies will be there, and Air Force will come after him.
His first start of the season, if you're just joining us, but he did get reps in the first and second games of the season earlier this year. Third down and 6 for the Aztecs. Chapman fires, and there's his first completion to Hazley, but it looks like it's a little bit short of that first down. He picked up 5. Fourth down. Interesting, Rod. Do you even give a little thought to going near midfield here?
Well, most teams would kick it here, but Rocky Long tends to be a little bit aggressive at times. That's kind of been his MO offensively, conservative style, but he does take chances on fourth down. Defensively, he tends to roll the dice, play a lot of blitzes, man coverage.
6 of 8 on the season on fourth down conversions this year. They're going to go for it. Lining up out of the I, Gordon the fullback. Pumphrey now motions out of the backfield. They give it to the fullback, Gordon, who picks up the first down. Flag down on the field. Dakota Gordon, a 5'10" senior out of Clovis, California. 235 pounds leading the way.
Illegal motion. Offense. Number 19 was moving forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, fourth down.
Now that changes the equation now. It looks like they might punt it. Pumphrey, the one who was the culprit. Tanner Blaine into punt, averaging almost 41 yards per punt on the season. Garrett Brown standing on his own 9-yard line for Air Force. Well, the Falcons will get off the field here defensively. A high spiral by Blaine. And a fair catch called at the 19-yard line, where it'll be first down and 10 after the 37-yard punt. Carson Roberts will come out next on an absolutely resplendent day here in San Diego. What a beautiful scenery here in the area. Qualcomm Stadium, first down and 10 for the Falcons on their first possession of the ball game. Carson Roberts at quarterback. Kobe Owens in the backfield. And hand it off to Timothy McVeigh, who had a huge week last week. Stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. He was turned loose last week with 5 touchdowns against New Mexico. There's a look at the season numbers for Carson Roberts at quarterback. Doesn't throw it a lot, but when they do, he makes it count.
Smart quarterback, knows how to run the option, and as a mechanical engineer, not a surprise, huh?
Second down and 9. Roberts gives it to the first man through. That's Jacoby Owens. Owens picks up 3. It sets up a 3rd down and 7. You're looking at the 3rd leading rushing team in the nation against the number 4 defense against the rush in the nation. So therein lies the conflict in the storyline tonight.
And this is where you want the option team. You want them on 3rd and long because they aren't a drop back passing team. So San Diego State has won the first 2 downs.
Here's to Brown. He did well just to make the catch on that toss, but he's sacked back at the 20-yard line. They're going to lose a couple of yards on the play. Garrett Brown brought down by Naeem McGee and well defended by the Aztecs.
Rocky Long loves to bring pressure, and when you get Air Force in a 3rd and long, since they're not a drop-back team, you can bring the extra pressure. You don't worry about man coverage back there when they're not a drop-back passing team. So Rocky Long, recognizing that, brought the pressure. Good stop.
Holder back deep for the Aztecs. His own 40-yard line. Strable punting for the Falcons. And a fair catch called at the 43. San Diego State going to have good starting field position when we come back to Qualcomm after that 36-yard punt. Pumphrey ready to go when we return. Sun beginning to set here on the west side. Man, ready to go.
Admit it, you love San Diego.
I do. Yeah, I do. I tell you what, this Mission Valley area and downtown San Diego, Mission Beach. Got that run in this morning, Rod, and it's all good. Ready for this great game tonight. An intriguing matchup between these two teams. A couple of teams that run the ball, line it up, and the line of scrimmage going to tell a lot about the story tonight. Pumphrey on 1st and 10 over the left side. Got a nice seam. Still on his feet. DJ Pumphrey. All the way to the 26-yard line. His longest run of the night so far. Gordon leading the way.
Well, there is such a huge difference in size. The left side of that line just pummels the smaller Air Force defensive linemen, take them to the ground, and a great lead block. You see how Pumphrey runs through tackles. We talked about him playing with a chip on his shoulder. He's not big, but he runs really aggressively, really hard.
Another thing about Pumphrey, he is very vocal. He plays with a lot of emotion. It's not unusual to see him bumping his gums a little bit after plays. It's a great way of getting himself jacked up and psyched up for the game. 30 yards on that last run. Here he is again with nowhere to go as we take a look at our impact players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
I love that cow.
Still with us.
Yeah. Hey, Weston Steelhammer, is that not the coolest name for a defensive player ever? He's their leading tackler, has 5 picks on the season, one of the best players in the Mountain West Conference. And that guy Pumphrey, well, we've told you about him. You've seen what he can do, and don't be surprised to see him catch the ball. He is their leading receiver.
2-yard loss on that last play. 2nd and 12. Play action. Chapman going up top, has a man. Caught. Touchdown, Aztecs. Holder. There's a flag down on the play. All the way back at the 32. So let's hold on a minute. Michael Holder made the catch in the short run.
Personal foul, chop block, offense, numbers 19 and 46. 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Wow, that's against Pumphrey and Gordon, the backfield, on a chop block.
Now, you know, the chop block is when one guy is engaged and he is then hit low by another. That is a chop block. And it looks like, yep, there you go. You've got Gordon 46 and Pumphrey 19 doing a high-low block. That's an excellent call by the official. That rule was put in for the safety of players.
Pumphrey with a puzzled look across his face, disbelieving.
No, shouldn't be. It's illegal.
Yeah, by definition, exactly as you pointed out. The ball all the way back now at the 43-yard line. So the points come off the board on the catch by Micah Holder, who, by the way, just happens to be Christian Chapman's roommate. These two ahead of the game in terms of chemistry. Remember, this is Chapman's first start. Going to take off and run it down to the 38-yard line, so he gets about 5 yards back before being tackled by Grant Ross. Sets up third down now for the Aztecs. See how well they've run the ball this year. They've got 2 all-conference performers, one of them right there, Slater, on the offensive line.
6'7", 335. This offensive line dwarfs the Air Force defensive front. I mean, we're talking 80 pounds, 100 pounds differential.
Third and 22. Wells in motion, the tight end. And Chase Price trips up and falls behind the line of scrimmage. So after that chop block penalty, things imploding for the Aztec offense.
Yeah,
loss of 2.
It took away a big throw from Chapman that would have helped his confidence and moved them out of field goal range.
San Diego State going to punt here. Tanner Blaine coming in. Second punt of the night. Garrett Brown standing on his own 9-yard line for Air Force Academy. Air Force coming off a loss last week against New Mexico. He made great strides this year. And the head coach Bob Davie winning 7 games. Did a fantastic coaching job too. This one will come back out on the touchback on the 40-yard punt. 1-800 for Jimmy V. Run to the edge by Timothy McVeigh.
You know, Jonesy, when they run that option and they pitch it, Air Force always has a lead blocker in front of the pitch guy. And that's what leads to the big runs, the 8 yards, the 15 yards, the 25-yard runs.
And he broke a bunch of them last week. Big part of their performance against New Mexico. Second down and 3. They get the first down on the run by Jacoby Owens. So we get downstairs to Quint for more.
San Diego State head coach and defensive coordinator Rocky Long told us what's most scary when you're facing this Air Force team. With that in mind, they have started this game with 2 high safeties, not committing an extra hat to the box, basically kind of backing off. It'd be interesting to see how Air Force, if they can just grind and grind and grind against a pretty conservative defensive approach.
You know, that's interesting, Q. Most teams, when they face an option team, like to play man-to-man and get an extra guy closer to the line of scrimmage.
Falcons getting a first down at the 33. On the toss into the boundary. Nowhere to go that time for McVeigh. Run out of bounds by J.J. Whitaker. You know, Rocky Long has faced 3 option teams, not this year, but last year. They faced Air Force, Navy, and New Mexico and held all 3 of them below their season rushing average. But this year, they didn't play against an option team, so this should be interesting.
This is what Quint was talking about. 2 safeties back, not near the line of scrimmage. Now, normally, San Diego State prepares or practice for the option. They only had this week. They didn't expect to see an option team this year.
On 2nd and 7, give it to the first man through. That was Jacoby Owens, who ironically has a good relationship with DJ Pumphrey on the other side of the field today. And
well, there you see Rocky Long has had a lot of success against Air Force over the years. Most teams about 300 yards rushing, over 5 yards an attempt. Rocky Long has knocked that down quite a bit.
Same goes for, as I mentioned, New Mexico, who he played against last year, and Navy, who also runs the option. 3rd and 6. 4 receivers out on this formation. Pass high and almost picked off. That one seemed to get away from Carson Roberts, intended for Garrett Brown. And 4th down coming up.
That is not Air Force's strong suit. The drop back pass on 3rd down. Once again, San Diego State brought the pressure. I think you're going to have to see Air Force on 1st down try some of the trick plays, some of the stuff to get guys down the field to throw, because waiting on 3rd down isn't working for them on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8.
Strable into punt. Number 22. Holder fumbles it. It's loose. And the Falcons recover it inside the 10-yard line. The first big break of the ball game goes to Air Force.
And Jonesy, he just dropped it. Now, he might have taken his eye off to gauge where the defenders were on that 52-yard punt. A little peek there, and it hit him right in the noggin, right in the front of the helmet.
Jacob Onichi recovers the loose ball, Rod, and boy, you talk about room service for the Falcons, working 1st down from the 10. Holder was the guy that had the touchdown called back.
Now, it's interesting. Air Force tends to run more power and not so much option when they get inside the 10-yard line. Let's see if they've changed that tendency.
There's the option. And Roberts brought down after a gain of about 2 by Feely.
Speed option, a little different version of the option. They get the quarterback to the edge in a hurry.
Carson Roberts took over after the first 2 games of the season, became the starter week 3, and really doing a lot better. He was telling us yesterday in meeting with him, picking up on some of the nuances of this offense. 6-foot senior out of Houston, Texas. On the pitch, McVay got a block. Touchdown, Air Force. Wow. And they convert after the turnover on the fumbled punt.
You know, Jonesy, we talked earlier about the fact that on that pitch, there's always a lead blocker out there for Air Force. And that time, Tyler Williams did a great job of getting McVay into the end zone. And McVay, now watch the outside. You see number 12, Tyler Williams, out the outside. Look at him right there. Look at that block he puts on. That's the block that frees McVay to get into the end zone.
McVay still red hot. Mentioned the fact that he had 5 touchdowns last week. Notches another one here. And the Air Force Academy, the Falcons, opportunistic, converting on that Michael Holder fumbled punt. A couple of plays later, McVay, the man of the day so far when we come back to Wendy Nix, Boomer, and the rest of the guys. Special early morning edition of Insiders and Countdown at 9 and 10 on ESPN. As we welcome you back to the Sports Authority Mountain West Conference Championship game from Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. The Falcons leading the Aztecs 7-0 as Air Force able to convert after that fumbled punt. This is Rashad Penny, the Special Teams Player of the Year in the conference, reversing his field and getting out to the 27-yard line. Let's go back to that last touchdown, Rod.
Oh, Jonesy, let's keep your eye on the left side of the formation here. Watch this right here. Now, when you see triple option, you leave 2 guys unblocked. Air Force does it perfectly. You don't have to block that guy. You just read him in the pitch, and then you get a couple of great blocks down the field from guys like Tyler Williams. That's how you run the triple option.
And San Diego State hasn't had a chance to go against a option team this year. You know, this is the first time that the Aztecs have trailed in a game since October 31st against Colorado State. That's a span of about 221 minutes. Chase Price getting loose, fighting hard after contact and picking up about 8. Let's go down to Quinn.
Mark, Air Force's defense now committing 8 and 9 men to the box on every first down play. Chapman stinging them earlier with the play action for the touchdown that got called back, but this is just an overall commitment to stop the run, an undersized defense that has to rely on some pre-snap and post-snap movement, but play action play action for Chapman could be a big deal.
Steve Russ, the defensive coordinator for Air Force. That's Price again, bouncing outside, finding a little seam and picking up the first down.
Well, Q is right. You know, they are so small defensively, they have to bring an 8th guy into the box just to match up with mass. I mean, take a look at that defensive line, an average of 270 going up against an average of 322. And how about on that right side? Slater is 335. Green is 325. They're huge.
Going against 260-pounders. There's Price again getting some work on this drive as Pumphrey gets a breather. 3-yard gain. Brody Hicks making the stop on the play. Chase Price, a 5'8 senior out of Diamond Bar, California. 2nd down and 7 coming up for San Diego State. San Diego State has won 8 consecutive games, none closer than 14 points. Pumphrey back in the ball game.
Look at all the guys around the line of scrimmage.
And they still run it. Pumphrey picks up about a yard on the play, maybe
See
2.
that guy right there? Steal him. That's a safety who's in the backfield on that play. He's sneaking around the line of scrimmage, trying to get in there. Nosy guy that he is with all those tackles for losses he makes during the season.
What
10 tackles for losses.
Yeah, leads them with 5 picks. All-conference performer. Pumphrey is split out as a receiver this time. The pass is caught. They're going to give the catch to Hazley. Mon Hazley picks up 11.
And that's the adjustment for San Diego State. You get those guys in the box, you get single coverage on the outside, and that's a good catch. Sandifer gets his hands underneath the ball.
That'll take guys out of the box a little bit, right? And Chapman starting to get in rhythm a little bit. Pumphrey in the backfield. Dakota Gordon, the fullback. Pumphrey on the top. And a first down at the 22-yard line for DJ Pumphrey.
How about Gordon? I mean, he's got to be Pumphrey's best friend. Just watch 46. Look at him lead the way. I'll clear some way for you to go, buddy.
At 235 pounds.
So you don't see this often. The fullback's gone out of the game by and large.
And once in a while, they'll actually give a dog a bone and give him a carry.
Yeah, it's, tape up the elbows because he's going to throw those elbows.
Old school. Chase Price back in the ball game. Pumphrey already with 59 yards rushing. Price stopped up, and that's going to be a loss of a yard on the play. Claude Alexander with the tackle for Air Force.
Well, they brought him on a run blitz, and when you are undersized, you've got to move that defensive line. You've got to do some run blitzes and bring guys in there so that they can use their quickness and speed and avoid the whole issue of just getting knocked back with the big guys.
And that's going to be the last play of the first quarter.
This is the end of the
2nd and
first
11
quarter.
coming up
Time out of the
for the
field.
Aztecs when we come back. Air Force has taken flight. McVay with the score and the second quarter on the other side of it. Qualcomm Stadium, a look at the New Year's 6. Some great college football coming up. And remember, we will find out tomorrow who those Final Four teams are. Noon Eastern time. Wide open! Touchdown Pumphrey! And he's stirring it up. Starting to cook. Somebody turned him loose, Rod.
A complete breakdown in the secondary. It looked like Latipo, number 25, totally let him go, like there was total confusion back there. This is only the 4th pass of the game. But watch this. Watch what happens to the right side. There's Latipo. He looks at him and he lets him go. He just turns him loose. Now that was Pumphrey who lined up as a receiver, and we've been telling you all night, don't be surprised if he catches the ball because he is their leading receiver. He's out there for a reason.
Yeah, one of only 4 players in the country to lead his team in rushing as well as receiving. That's his 3rd receiving touchdown of the season, 5th of his career. And we're knotted at 7 apiece for the Mountain West Conference Championship.
When they put their best player out there at wide receiver, you don't ignore him. You can't pretend like you're going to cover him.
Well, wondering what Latipo was thinking out there. Obviously tremendously confused. So that caps an 8-play 73-yard drive for the Aztecs, and Rocky Long, the conference coach of the year, sees his team finally get on the scoreboard. Rocky Long said that when he first took the job here years ago, that he thought that this program at San Diego State could be along the lines of a TCU, a team that is a little bit of a school that is a little bit of a sleeping giant with a lot of latent potential, and he's trying to bring it out.
Well, they get a lot of players here who, for one reason or another, were scorned by Pac-12 teams. There are some guys who started out at Pac-12 teams and then transferred in here. San Diego's a nice place to live and go to school and work.
That's an easy sell.
Yeah, not hard. Not hard at all.
Tyler Williams and Ryan Driscoll back deep for the Falcons. The 15 is Dudison. Brought down at the 15. We go back to Chris in the studio. What's up, Chris? All right, so Alabama, you would think, barring a major change of heart.
Are you kidding me?
Is in.
You kidding me? One loss, Alabama, not being in, they're in. The only question is, are they 1 or 2? Possibly 3, but I'd find that hard to believe.
Of course, we've got the Pac-12 championship game going on, and it'll be interesting to see what happens to their conference champ. On the run, Carson Roberts got whacked at the 33-yard line by Calvin Munson.
Hey, Jonesy, you see this tight end here? That's an unbalanced line. They've gone back and put their tackles to the right side. And the issue for San Diego State is there's another gap now on the right side. And then on the tight end side, if defensively you don't recognize it's unbalanced, you put your strong safety and strong side linebacker to the wrong side, away from all those extra linemen.
And the consequence is
usually a good running play.
2nd and 3. If they're making you think, that means you're playing slow, not fast. They give it to the first man through. That's Jacoby Owens gashing that front for another nice gain by the Falcons. He picked up 9 and another first down.
We're not seeing many pass plays in this game, only 4. It is all about triple option and power running by San Diego State.
The number 3 rushing team in the country, Troy Calhoun's team, is against the number 4 team against the run in the country, the Aztecs.
We still haven't seen the fake off the triple option and send a guy running free down the field.
They've hit that a few times this year. On the toss, Williams brought down at about the 47-yard line, picked up 5. Good tackle by Cameron Kelly in the secondary.
Perimeter blocking is really, really good for Air Force. Timothy McVeigh that time, out on the edge, number 33 with a good block. We've seen good blocking on the perimeter on those options an awful lot tonight by Air Force.
Now there's McVeigh. He's averaging almost 10 yards. That's right, 10 yards per pop on the season. 2nd and 5. They're going to pass it. It's complete at midfield to the tight end, Griffin. And Griffin, let's see where they spot it. Looks like they're going to give him the first down and a late flag after the play. Gain of 6 on the reception by Garrett Griffin. That's the first completion of the night for quarterback Carson Roberts of Air Force. Now, we haven't talked about it. This is a unique group of student athletes, the cadets.
Are you kidding me?
Their days are very different than the normal student athletes.
They're amazing.
Personal foul, targeting. Defense, number 23. The ruling of targeting is under review.
Damontae Casey, the Defensive Player of the Year in the conference, called for targeting right there.
Well, this is a better angle to look at it. Let's take one more look and see. Does he lead with the head? Oh, yeah. You know, that's the issue, is that he goes up high above the numbers, and any kind of contact above the numbers towards the head, if it's intentional, that's going to get a flag. And the thing that's a little disturbing is that he sort of led with his helmet. I don't think the initial contact was with his helmet. That doesn't matter, but he tried to go high at the head. Just watch it once more. Look, watch the decision. He's got a defenseless guy, and he goes at the head and gets him at the back of the head.
You saw the coaches on the sideline for the Falcons point immediately at that blow.
Yeah, that's just not good.
And Damontae Casey is, like I said, the Mountain West Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Leads the team with 7 interceptions.
That would be a huge loss. But, you know, more importantly, you got to get concussions out of the game. People leading with their head, their helmet. That's not good for the long-term viability of football at any level. And that's why there is such an effort to strike down on these types of hits.
Well, they're still reviewing this. The ruling on the field is that it's targeting, which would subject him to an ejection. They're still talking, still reviewing that last play. But as I mentioned, he's a vital part in what they do back there in the secondary.
Well, you know, just don't put yourself in that position. The guy is going down out of bounds. Even if they overturn this, it's way too risky to take that shot at someone that high.
Here's the call.
After reviewing the play, there is no foul for targeting. The result of the play is a first down.
Yeah, so they overturned it, but that is way too risky.
It was close.
I would still throw the flag on that because it's so high near the head. And if you're Casey, it's not worth the risk to take that hit.
Well, Casey going to remain in the football game. 1st and 10 for the Falcons at the 47. Tied at 7. Justin Roberts keeps it, follows his tailback, and brought down by Alex Barrett, a gain of 3 on the play.
You know, Party, you started talking earlier about the Air Force young men and what they do, and I was listening to your conversation to a couple of those guys yesterday, and the fact that they are so committed to not only their academic work, but the military aspect of it, the training they do now, and their 5-year commitment afterwards. They don't blink an eye.
That's true selfless service. Have that kind of vision at such a young age says a lot about their maturity. Nice run there by Carson Roberts. And Roberts, by the way, one of those special student athletes, decided that he wanted to attend the Air Force Academy as a senior. It was interesting listening to Troy Calhoun. He said he remembered the recruiting visit. He said Troy's mom made some great cookies.
Yesterday was National Cookie Day. How could he forget?
Things these coaches remember, huh? 3rd and 2 coming up.
They're in 2-down territory. You don't get it here, you might go for it on 4th.
And he swarmed for a loss on the play. Back at the 41, Roberts brought down by Randy Ricks, a loss of 2. And Coach Calhoun has a little decision.
Not anymore. I mean, I thought on that 3rd and 2, if they didn't pick it up, they would go for it on 4th down. But you didn't expect them to lose yardage. Right. Once they lost yardage, now you've got to kick it. You got to punt.
Casey going to go back deep. Strable going to punt. Now the Falcons trying to run a man on the field late. Two teams playing for an improved bowl situation. Still nothing final as to where each team is going to end up respectively. This punt's going to be downed right around the 13-yard line. Of course, we'll find out tomorrow at noon on where everyone's headed for the bowl season. JimmyV.org or call 1-800-4JimmyV to donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. And welcome everyone back to Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive Game of the Week. City of San Diego, aglow at night, a city with a very heavy military presence. A lot of great naval officers in the area. Chase Price in the backfield now. Now splits out. Give us to the fullback to pull to Gordon, and Gordon picks up 3.
That's the bone.
How frequently is enough for the fullback?
They throw him a bone every now and then because he's such a great blocker. And he only carried the ball 57 times, 29 times coming into tonight's game. That's his second carry tonight, I believe.
So Jeff Horton, the offensive coordinator for the Aztecs, is like, you good now?
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah. Go back to blocking.
2nd and 6. Penny in the backfield. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts. Pass completed to 22 to Hazley. And Hazley stopped up a little bit short. Let's see where they spot it. Picked up 5. He's going to be looking at a 3rd and 1 now for the Aztecs.
Well, that's consistently available. Single coverage on the outside. Inside man-to-man technique. The out route is available.
3rd and 1. Chase Price in the backfield. Little ISO, and they pick up the first down just across the 25-yard line. Latipo making the stop. Hey, Chapman, Quint, is 4 for 4 passing. Q?
Mark, we talked about Christian Chapman in our open, making his first start at quarterback for San Diego State. I think he looks poised right now. He's really relaxed. I worried about him in warm-ups. He was bouncing around. He seemed like he was too excited, but he's settled down. This is a young man. It's going to be really good. Arkansas State, BYU, MU, and he's waited his time after losing the starting spot over the summer.
Yeah, it was an interesting quarterbacking battle. That's Roland Latipo, who made the tackle on the last play, a little bit shaken up. And just to tag on the Chapman storyline, Chapman actually played in the first 2 games, and there's a look at Maxwell Smith on the sidelines. He tore his ACL in the first quarter of the game last week.
He's talking about maybe playing in the bowl game and then having surgery after that. I don't get that at all.
Pretty amazing. That's wanting to play in the bowl game pretty badly. Of course, there have been guys before that have played on torn ACLs. But he was the starter the entire season, now giving way to Chapman. He was a perfect 4 for 4 and has his team tied at 7. Give is to Chase Price. Price ran for almost 900 yards this year, picked up 6 there.
Part of that 1-2 tandem. He is tough to bring down, about 5'8", 200+ pounds. Kind of a bowling ball. Built low to the ground with a lot of power.
This version of the Aztecs is going to end up amongst the top teams rushing-wise. School's history, 2nd down and 4. Humphrey on the sidelines getting a breather. Little play action, a shot up top on the post. Incomplete at the 32. Off the hands of Holder, who was working against Kalen Baker. Boy, he couldn't have thrown that any better. And Baker did a nice job to make seemingly enough contact there, Rod, to break it up.
I think that's a good no call. You know, the hand down low did not impede him from making a play on the football. That's a good non-call.
And a chorus of boos raining down on the field. The fans here in San Diego letting the officials feel.
I know. People think if there's any touching, it's pass interference. That's not true. You actually have to impede and stop the receiver from getting to the football.
3rd and 4, blitz coming. Chapman with nowhere to go throws it wisely out of bounds.
No foul for intentional grounding.
Well done.
The quarterback was out of the pocket, threw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage.
You heard the official explaining why it wasn't grounding, but a big win for the Falcons defensively that time.
And a smart play by Chapman. Saved a loss of yardage, so in this exchange of punts here, they won't lose as much as they could have.
Lane gonna punt it to Garrett Brown, who's back at his 27. 3rd punt of the day. Brown will have a chance to return this, but he backpedaled really far, all the way back to the 15. A 51-yard punt. Nothing on the return. Falcons with the football when we return.
Brought to you by Sports Authority. Visit us at sportsauthority.com. And Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
Every day is a busy day for the Air Force Academy cadets. Marching in perfect formation, assiduous in their preparation and practice. Carson Roberts, look at his day, folks. Go down the ledger, starts at 6:30 a.m., doesn't end until lights out about midnight. And that 9:30 a.m. class he was telling me about, the experimental mechanics 460, I asked him, what'd you get in your last test in that class? He said, and he shook his head, he kind of winced, disappointedly said, I got a 93.
Oh, yeah. God, what a lazy guy. Underachiever.
Special group of student athletes. They fit Division I football in there somewhere. Battling for a conference title right now. This is Owens gaining about a yard as we go down to Quint for more.
Yeah, Mark, I think it's important for fans to understand the unique challenges that the Air Force Academy, Army, and Navy face in terms of the way they operate and how they're different. Instead of the 20-hour rule, athletes are only permitted to participate in football activities for 15. There's no red shirting. You know, their June-July period, typically at schools it's voluntary but mandatory. They don't have that. They're out amongst the fleet or you know, learning how to fly planes, and they have a fitness test. Which really is one of the reasons why you don't see the 300-pound linemen. They have to run 1.5 miles in 11 minutes and 15 seconds at altitude, 7,200 feet in Colorado Springs. That tends to keep the big guys from being really big.
That's why they don't have any 300-pounders.
And the little guys, too, yeah. Quint. Jeez.
Yeah, you can't have 300-pounders when they got to pass that kind of a test. I'd have trouble with that uniform personal inspection.
I haven't gotten the crease on my pants right, and I'm past my time. Nice run up the middle by Jacoby Owens in the loose now. Nobody to beat. Owens on the loose and finally dragged down at the 5-yard line by Cameron Kelly. A yawning hole up front, and the Falcons fly out for 65 yards.
Oh, such a great give and decision. Watch the double team here, and then watch the cutback. The beautiful cutback by Owens. He reads his block perfectly. There's the double team. He cuts back on it, and he's off to the races. He catches San Diego State without a safety back here. They brought pressure. They opened up the middle, and he got loose.
That's a career-long run for Owens. So as I mentioned earlier, good friends with DJ Pumphrey. They played Pop Warner football together back in their hometown in Las Vegas. Here he is again. And the smash ball straight ahead picks up about 3. Owens, a 6-foot junior.
If you can't stop the fullback in the option, the dive play, you're in for a long night.
2nd and goal coming up. Under 6 minutes to go here in a very fast-moving first half of play. Mountain West Conference Championship on the line. San Diego State looking for their 9th consecutive win overall and their 11th straight conference win. And Carson Roberts going to call timeout.
First charge timeout, Air Force. Timeout on the field.
The Aztecs haven't trailed in many games this year, but it could be. All happens, folks, tomorrow at noon on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Alabama winning earlier today. That's one piece of the puzzle.
Oklahoma in half of the puzzle.
Yeah, Stanford taking on USC right now, the Pac-12 championship game. Pardon me, yes, Pac-12.
Pac-12.
Yeah.
In North Carolina in the ACC.
Second and goal for Air Force here. Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. And a stop made on Roberts right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe lost a little bit of ground, a loss of 1. Casey, who's still in the game, got off. Didn't get called for that spearing.
Well, he's not the defensive player of the year in the Mountain West Conference, you know, for no reason. I mean, we're talking about a guy with 7 picks, a sure tackler. My only thing was don't take the risk of the high hit near the head on the sideline. Keep yourself in the ball game.
Third and goal. Roberts into the end zone, a little high, incomplete for Robinette.
Had him wide open, overthrew him.
Jalen Robinette is a big, imposing target too at 6'4". Look at that angular frame. And he overthrew him.
Yeah, he's got him in the back of the end zone. There he is right there. See the big number 9 right there?
Casey coming in a little bit too late. Strable now in to attempt this field goal from 21 yards out. He's 9 of 10 on the season. A little chip shot here. And the Falcons with a 3-point lead with 4:42 to go in the first half. A conference championship on the line for Troy Calhoun's squad. Action at the college football playoff. Back here, Air Force leading 10-7. Different kind of band on the other side of the field. You know, Air Force leading here. San Diego State has only trailed for 5 minutes and 26 seconds in conference play this year. Price on the return. And he's pushed out of bounds at the 36. Let's go back to Chris Cotter in the studio.
All right, Jonesy, time for Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. We go over to ESPN, where Stanford is taking on USC in the Pac-12 championship game. A little razzle-dazzle here. Christian McCaffrey can do it with his legs and with his arm, finding his quarterback, Kevin Hogan, Cardinal on top.
I don't know if anybody does more in the Heisman race than he does. Just saying.
David Shaw saving it for the right time.
Busting out some things.
To think that last year this time people were wondering, how come McCaffrey's not getting the ball more?
Got to protect the quarterback.
Maybe he had a plan, yeah.
Got a pass pro.
Will Stanford be in the mix? We'll find out tomorrow at noon. And Pumphrey flushed out and pushed out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage by Onichi.
It's a critical drive here for the Air Force defense to put 3 points on the board and come back and get a stop now. They'd have a chance to go in ahead at halftime. And not many teams have been ahead of San Diego State this season, at least in conference.
And we have a player a little shaken up. That's Onichi, who just made the last play. 6'1" junior out of Sugar Land, Texas. San Diego State with the football. Christian Chapman has played almost, the first half of this ball game here, Rod. What kind of grade would you give him making his first start under the circumstances on the big stage here?
I think he's played well. I'd give him a good solid B+, to A-. He's done what they've asked him to do, and I think Air Force is a little bit frustrated that they've only forced him to throw it 4 times. I think they want him to throw it 25 to 30 times. That hasn't happened. I mean, Matt Smith, you wouldn't want to challenge him to throw it that much because he's, a veteran guy, he's done a good job. But with a guy in his first start, letting him get away with only 4 attempts in the first half is not what Air Force had in mind.
Right now he's 4 of 6 passing. 45 yards, going to sling it here. Taking a shot up top, got Pumphrey, and it's caught. Inside the 25, he was working against DJ Dunn.
Well, they have figured out the mismatch there. I mean, I don't know why Air Force is surprised about Pumphrey lining up at a receiver spot, but they seem confused and don't cover him very well. I mean, he's their leading receiver. He can go get it, and this is one of the things that will help him as a possible draft pick next year, or this year if he should come out.
Still giving Chapman just a B+ or A-?
That throw raised it a little bit.
Little play action. Actually, Pumphrey on the carry. Keeps those legs moving. The little man moving the pile down to the 10. Dakota Gordon with a great lead block as they run the ISO for 14 yards, Rod.
Yeah, it gets nowhere without Gordon, 46, opening up the hole. He does a nice job of it. But Pumphrey, though, man, what a show he's putting on. He's running it well, catching it down the field. That versatility makes him a prospect.
Now he motions out of the backfield. They give it to Dakota Gordon, the fullback. Hits up a couple, brought down by Dexter Walker. 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Aztecs looking for their 20th conference championship. A lot of those coming in the Western Athletic Conference. Don't forget, tomorrow at noon, you'll find out who the 4 teams are in the college football playoff. Teams will be revealed live exclusively on ESPN. 2nd and 8. Pumphrey lining up in the slot this time to the left of Chapman. He looks the other way and runs. And he got drilled at the 6.
Smart decision not to throw the football.
Fought Alexander with a lick.
Yeah, you watch the hit by Alexander. Now, again, there was a little helmet to helmet, but the rule for targeting, remember, you have to have a defenseless player and you have to have the forcible contact at the helmet. That wasn't there. Now, the other rule is if you lower your head and you go helmet to helmet, then that's a flag. But they didn't lower their helmets there. That was one where the quarterback ducked down.
Such a difficult call. And you know, if Chapman is shaken up for whatever reason, that's Jake Rodriguez, the number 3 guy. But Rocky Long not trying to hear that. Time out on the field. Back after this. Diego aglow at night. The Aztecs in the red zone.
Hey, there's that guy again. Pumphrey in that slot.
Now motions to the top of your screen in the other slot to the right. Chapman looks the other way, incomplete behind his intended receiver Hazley, and it's 4th down.
Threw it behind him. Had him, but he threw it behind him.
And 4th down, and in comes the field goal unit for Rocky Long. Tanner Blaine coming in. Ani Hagman going to try and attempt this field goal. He's 15 of 20 on the season. This one coming from 22 yards out. He drills it through, and we're knotted at 10 apiece. San Diego hasn't been in a close game like this in a long time. You wonder if that changes things a little bit and how they react under some heat. Well, don't miss any college football action while you're on the go this year, folks. Stream every game live. All you got to do is download the Watch ESPN app or go to watchespn.com. You can watch it in the airport, in the hotel lobby, when you're on the move.
How handy did it come in for us when that Michigan State game was ending and we were in the car? And the Miami Duke?
Yeah. Chasing an airplane like we usually do.
I mean, just think, if we hadn't had the app, we would have missed that.
Just one of those great where were you when moments. It's been a real riveting year in college football when you think about all the miraculous finishes. And a great Saturday night here.
We had one of our own with Georgia Tech, Florida State, which impacted the playoff chase. Knocked Florida State right out of it.
It's their elimination virtually from it. Right now in the ACC, it's Clemson taking on North Carolina. Pretty tight game. The Pac-12 tonight, you got Stanford and USC. Stanford leading in that. Leading by 13. This is Driscoll from the 2. And Driscoll tackled at the 23 as we go back to Chris in the studio.
All right, guys, Outback halftime report coming up just around the corner. Butch Davis, Robert Smith will join me. 3 other conference championship games going on right now. We'll get you some highlights of those. Plus, with Alabama winning earlier in the day, does Stanford have a shot? Does North Carolina have a shot if they beat Clemson? We'll look at some scenarios. And how big of a day was it for Derrick Henry? Did he salt away the Heisman? We'll talk about that trophy as well. It's all coming up. Outback halftime report.
You talk about the Pac-12. Big day for the Pac-12's former great basketball player, Kimberly Belton, going to be inducted into the Pac-12 Basketball Hall of Fame.
Our guy. That's awesome.
This is Brown. Took a hit and kept those legs moving. Gained 4 on the play. 2nd and 6. Under 1.5 to go here in the first half.
Air Force isn't built for the 2-minute offense. Have to be careful here if you're thinking about airing it out. I think they would be wise to run some option, maybe run some power inside. If you can break something, great, but I would not try and air it out down here.
2nd and 6. Roberts keeps him himself, picks up about 3. Yeah, it's interesting. This has been a year of adversity for the Falcons. They really could have tanked when they were 3-3, and the tipping point of their season, 3-3, down 14-0 against Fresno State. And Coach Calhoun told us that guys basically found themselves in a sense. They started to have better focus, turned that game around, ended up winning 5 of their last 6. Their lone defeat last week in that stretch against New Mexico. But some of the leaders, the 3 captains in particular, really showed a lot of resolve in turning the season around for the Falcons.
There's always a moment.
I love your saying about chaos.
Yeah.
Air Force.
It's a ladder.
30-second
Chaos
timeout.
is not a pit. Chaos is a ladder.
Opportunity.
Some of those who climb that ladder fail and never have an opportunity again.
What does it mean for these 2 teams, respectively, Rod, and their bowl positioning and the bowl hierarchy, San Diego State winning or Air Force winning?
Well, there's some good trips out there, some good bowl games for these teams, depending on what happens tonight. I mean, we keep hearing the possibility of the Hawaii Bowl for one of these teams in this game tonight. There are a lot of good bowls. The Mountain West has really done a good job over the years of increasing their bowl arrangements, the bowl contracts. You see some of them there, the New Mexico Bowl, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, and the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, and that Hawaii Bowl we mentioned down there, and then the Cactus Bowl out in Arizona. There's some nice opportunities and good matchups there, and these 2 teams are vying for the best opportunity available.
Aztecs with an opportunity to win 11 games this season. Jacoby Owens trying to flip the script on him, picked up 5. Nice little showdown between Owens out of Las Vegas and his former Pop Warner teammate, TJ Pumphrey.
2 buddies who grew up and took different routes.
Yeah.
One to the Air Force Academy and one to San Diego State.
And after the first 30 minutes of play, we are deadlocked at 10 apiece. Carson Roberts will try and draw a few up. And the Aztecs looking to take off as well as we go back to the studio for the Outback Steakhouse half-quarter Mountain West Conference Championship on the line. Look at downtown San Diego. And a few miles away at Qualcomm. Been an interesting first 30 minutes of play. Mark Jones alongside Rod Gilmore, Quint Kessenich down to the field. When you look at the 2 dynamic players, they have a lot in common in the backfield with the respective teams.
Well,
and the results here in the first half.
Owens at Air Force and Pumphrey at San Diego State grew up as friends together, and they're dueling tonight, kind of battling in this ball game, and they both have made really big plays for their respective teams. You think about the numbers for Pumphrey. I mean, he's had 3 really big plays. He's had a couple of catches, 24 yards, 40 yards, and also a 30-yard run.
Air Force, Williams on the return, and Williams takes it out beyond the 25 as we go downstairs. A little bit ago, Quint caught up with Coach Calhoun.
Coach, there have been some issues when they put Pumphrey into the slot or out as a wide receiver. What's the solution? Well, he's a pretty decent player, I think, you know, so that's a challenge, you know, when they move him around. Obviously, extremely agile, great back, great receiver, and the whole bit. We got to do a little bit better, and just maybe our recognition's got to be a little bit better in terms of where he's aligned. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Pumphrey, as we mentioned, a pretty productive first half for San Diego State, the Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year. And now it's the Falcons with the football, though. On the toss, that's Williams, and Williams with a nice gain at about 6.
The option, the pitch, has been probably the most effective part of that triple option tonight. There have been a couple of runs inside by Owens, but the big plays really are going to come on that outside pitch where they've got the lead blocker and get a chance to do a little damage.
From the 32. Roberts under center. The first man through the hole, that's Owens, and another spirited run for the first down. Owens got 6.
Outside, then back inside, and back outside. I'm still waiting for that fake the option, get the defense to draw up, and then just right over the top.
Yeah, he's only thrown it. Carson Roberts has 3 times tonight. Owens is already at 100 yards rushing after that last run. Now they might have to take a yard off that total. Might have lost a yard. Well, no gain. Kyle Kelly making the stop.
Yeah, you know, Jonesy, Rocky Long is the defensive coordinator and the head coach, and he's been very aggressive on first down. And he's keeping 2 safeties back, but he's still bringing pressure on first down. He expects the option, and they've handled it well. Now the key for Air Force, they've got to get something done here on second, because 3rd and long, they almost have no chance.
Ball's loose, got booted all the way downfield, came shooting out of there, and the Falcons recover. Garrett Griffin hustling on the play, and they pick up a whole bunch of yardage in the process. Owens had it knocked loose.
I've never seen anything like that. And that was a fumble that got literally kicked down the field. Watch Owens give the ball up here, then watch how it bounces down the field. Off of a helmet, then it gets hit up in the air, and there she goes. But Griffin outraces people, just hustling to get down there.
J.J. Whitaker almost had it for San Diego State, but instead, all the way down to the 28-yard line, it's Owens who hangs on to it this time. It looked like it did. It was like a rugby scrum, and somebody booted it out of there because it came right there.
Yeah, they got kicked. That's a unique kind of a punt. A punt that you recover for your own team.
I tell you, these Air Force guys, they're pretty precise, but I'm not sure they could have drawn that one. 2nd and 6 from the 24. Roberts on the toss. That's Williams into the boundary and nowhere to go. They were waiting on him. Going to be a loss of a couple of yards. Malik Smith and Munson there to make the tackle.
Hey, Jonesy, look at all the guys in the box here to defend this. 9 guys within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're all thinking option. None of this keeping 2 safeties back. They're all up close thinking option. They defeat blocks and make this play. Numbers matter.
Win on that play for the Aztecs defensively. Roberts on the toss. That's McVay. McVay gets the first down, so that time the Falcons win on the play. Malik Smith making the tackle.
And again, numbers. They went on the edge with numbers. They had lead blockers with every defender. All McVay had to do was get in behind them and pick up some good yardage on a first down.
Remember, this team Gains about 330 yards per game on the ground. At 206 tonight. Run it again down to the 12-yard line. Carson Roberts keeping himself. Picks up 4. Roberts had an interesting summer job. He's telling us he had a nice internship at Northrop Grumman in California, right here in the state of California, Southern California. Yeah. 5 weeks.
Mechanical engineer says he's not interested in being a pilot. He might be working on planes.
This is Owens skipping through that initial wave of tacklers. And 1st and goal coming up for the Falcons. Picked up 10.
Looking for bragging rights over his buddy Pumphrey, his childhood buddy from Las Vegas. Kind of out-dueling him so far in this second half. Pumphrey hasn't been on the field yet. But right now, Pumphrey is watching his old buddy carve up his team right now.
Getting it in good gashes and chunks. 10th play coming up. They've all been runs. Griffin in motion, now sets. Little run pressure came. And McVay into the end zone. Touchdown, Air Force.
Jonesy, San Diego State brought pressure from the left side, and Air Force runs away from it. McVay just squeezes into the end zone, but once again pressure from San Diego State, but guessed wrong as Air Force went away from it.
Falcon fans flexing their muscles a little bit.
Going on the field of a touchdown. It's under review.
It's like
a little different.
One of your workouts.
A little P90X in the stands there. A touchdown under review. McVay, if it stands, it'll be his second one of the night.
Well, remember, it's does the ball break the plane before he's down? Now, elbow is down, which would be considered down, but where is the ball when the elbow's down?
Can't really see the ball from there.
In there somewhere, but getting that first look, if it's right there, that's breaking the plane.
That far side official would have had a good view at it.
Yeah, and he threw his hands up right away.
Yep. The call on the field was a touchdown.
Now remember, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call on the field, and that's pure guesswork right now from that angle. So I don't see enough in either one of the replays we saw to overturn the call on the field. I see the elbow down, but I can't tell from any of these angles whether the ball didn't break the plane. So I don't think you have enough.
Well, the ruling on the field is a touchdown. There's McVay on the left, had 5 touchdowns last week in that loss against New Mexico. They've got 11 different players that have run for over 100 yards this year. Thus the potency of this ground attack for the Falcons. Looking for their first Mountain West Conference championship. And if this touchdown stands, this would be the latest that the Aztecs have trailed in a conference game this year.
A little bit longer on the review here, huh, Jonesy? Usually that's a signal that they're looking at time and they're looking at where the ball should be placed. But I didn't see enough in those replays to overturn anything. I'd be surprised if they overturned it.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Yeah, that's the right call.
So the Falcons with a 16-10 lead. McVay with a couple of touchdowns on his last 3 runs. Right now, the picture of efficiency for the Falcons.
How about McVay, a guy who was on the scout team last year as a freshman and on the scout team the first part of this year before getting his chance, and he's taken full advantage of it.
And for the first time in 9 weeks, the Aztecs facing real tangible adversity here, trailing late. They've won their 8 straight games by at least 14 points. And Fortune right now, Lady Luck right now, wearing Falcon colors. It was this auspicious play that set them up for this touchdown run by McVay, and they lead by 7 when we return. Folks, when the final college football playoff rankings will be revealed live, they'll determine the top 4 playoff teams and who will play on New Year's Eve. It all happens tomorrow at noon on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN, as we welcome you back to Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive Game of the Week from one of the jewels of the West, San Diego, California. The Aztecs trailing. This is Penny on the return. Well, you know, this is the first time the Aztecs have trailed in the second half of a game since September 26th at Penn State. So, Rod, hey, how do they react here with a first-time starter at quarterback, too?
Yeah, you know, it's a good question, a good point. You know, they struggled during the non-conference season and then dominated the Mountain West Conference games, and now they find themselves behind. I think Chapman showed you in that second quarter that he'd settled down, threw a couple nice passes, a deep ball. I think they're probably okay. I think he's in a rhythm. There's Smith on the sideline, the starting quarterback who was injured last week. But I think Chapman is comfortable right now. I don't think he's rattled at all.
There's the guy that provides the comfort zone for the Aztecs offensively. Pumphrey brought down by Claude Alexander, got 9 on that rush.
I wonder if he looks over to the Air Force bench to Owens. Hey, anything you can do, I can do better.
2nd and 1 coming up. Pumphrey, you know, we talked about his diminutive but dynamic nature. Look at the numbers right there. Days after wearing a boot after being hurt in that Fresno State game earlier this year. He was in a boot for several days and then ended up rushing for 148 yards a couple of days later and 3 touchdowns against UNLV. Pardon me, against Hawaii. Steelhammer making the tackle that time. Pumphrey picking up the first down.
Jonesy, we talk about him being on the small side. Watch him finish this run. This is a guy about 5'9", 175. Watch him take on Steelhammer, lower the shoulder, and finish the run. And hang on to the ball as Steelhammer tries to strip it out. That's tough running.
Says that he's going to return for his senior season. 1st and 10. Pumphrey with nowhere to go this time. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 34. Steelhammer with a little payback that time, making the stop.
You mentioned Pumphrey coming back next year for his senior year, kind of projected as a 5th-round pick or later this year. I think coming back is a good idea, although he says it's not about the NFL coming back. He wants to break all of Marshall Faulk's records here at San Diego State.
Pretty ambitious. 2nd and 11, he lines up in the slot. Chapman tossing it complete. He found Jamon Hazley for the first down.
And they have that whenever they want it. We talked about it in the first half. Single coverage on the outside. Jesse Washington, the corner, playing out there with inside technique because he doesn't have safety help in the middle. So the out route to the sideline is available whenever Chapman wants to take it.
Chapman 6 of 9 now for 98 yards. 1st and 10. Hand off to the fullback, Dakota Gordon. And Gordon got about 3 on the play. 2nd and 7. Rocky Long's team was 1-3 at one point in the season, and really things were going south quickly. Then the 8-game winning streak, the win last week, that saw them able to host this conference championship game. 2nd and 8. It's interesting. They ended up going back to the old BCS model, the computer model, to determine who had the higher ranking and who would get to host.
That's just silly. You just make a simple rule. Better record, host.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Offside, defense, number 54, contact in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Penalty against Air Force. The Mountain West Conference, they never thought it would come to that, though, right, Rod? I mean,
well, that's why you have people in the league office to think about these contingency plans. That's what the lawyers do.
Let's think about what can go wrong
Yeah,
and what we do if all these things go wrong.
What if?
Chase Price in the backfield takes the handoff. A yawning hole up the middle, down to the 38-yard line. Steelhammer tells you why he's the team's leading tackler. Made another stop, but a gain of 7 on the play. And another first down at the 38-yard line. Let's look at Weston Steelhammer, who was offered a baseball scholarship at Alabama, but deferred and decided to go to Colorado Springs and attend the Air Force Academy. There's Price again, stopped up for a gain of about 3. You know, back to Steelhammer. Talk about summer jobs. How many guys' summer job or internship is riding around in an F-16 fighter jet? Yeah,
that's right. He did that. That's pretty cool. Was he stationed in where, Phoenix or someplace?
Yeah. Luke Air Force Base down in Phoenix. Guy that calls the signals out back there in the secondary gets them lined up right. They were lined up right that time. Nowhere to go for Chase Price. And third down coming up for the Aztecs. Hicks and Healy in on the stop. Pivotal play come up here, Ron, for the Aztecs?
I think so. Down 7, chance to answer that score. If Pumphrey were on the field, and I'm surprised he's not out there, I think using him in the slot would be the appropriate thing here. But you get better pass protection from Price.
Price motions out of the backfield. They're going to pass. Little heat coming. Chapman steps up, and he's going to be about a yard short. And fourth down coming up. Do you go or do you kick the field goal with under 5 minutes to go here in the quarter?
Well, I think Rocky Long will go. I think he feels like his offense has moved the ball pretty well, and he will go. And he rolls the dice. They bring in the extra lineman. They got another tight end, jumbo package here. A lot of coaches, a 47-yard field goal is no gimme, so I get it. I get it why he would do this here.
They've got that size advantage on the line of scrimmage we pointed out earlier. 10th play of the drive. Here it is. The fullback picks it up and then some. Gordon gashes them, and a touchdown-saving tackle by Latipo. A 23-yard gain that almost turned into 6.
Gordon at 235 just runs through a couple of arm tackles. Just watch him in the middle of your screen. Fullback, good block, but he just runs through 2 arm tackles. And Latipo at the end with a diving tackle saved 6.
Trying to go in for the game-tying score. It's Price. Stopped at the 3 by Healy. Second and goal.
Healy and Steelhammer both in there. And that is Patrick Healy in there, not Connor Healy. Connor Healy, his brother, the starter, is out this ball game with an injury. So Patrick at linebacker, number 41, middle of your screen, is taken over.
Got to keep those stops in the family. Price stopped short at the 1-yard line. Third and goal. Coppola on the tackle that time for the Falcons.
Oh, this is a physical, we're coming at you drive for San Diego State. Rocky Long will power it in here, and if he doesn't get it on third down, he will set up for it on fourth down.
So they're going for it.
They're going for it. This is just who they are. Tough, physical, coming at you.
The fullback stopped up and then muscles it in for the touchdown. Gordon. He ran through the arms of Patrick Healy.
How appropriate is that? Gordon almost broke loose for the touchdown a couple of plays ago, so he gets to finish the drive off here, just fighting his way into the end zone. At 235 pounds, he's a pretty good matchup for those linebackers in there who are not any bigger than he is. He's bigger than the linebackers.
Not that he needed it, but it looked like Nico Siragusa kind of embraced him and fell forward with him a little bit. 2:58 to go. Third quarter. We're tied at 17 apiece with the Mountain West Conference Championship on the line for Rocky Long and a 10th consecutive win.
The 2015 Sports Authority Mountain West Football Championship game. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper and college football. It's a one-of-a-kind tradition. And Buick, proud partner of the NCAA.
Your eyes aren't lying to you, folks. That's real ice, okay? That's an ice skating rink near the beach. Welcome back to Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive. Game of the week. That's the kind of stuff you see when you watch.
Stay classy, San Diego.
Yes.
Stay classy. No, thanks for stopping by.
You knew it was coming, right? I knew it was coming.
I could watch Anchorman another 15 times.
I didn't see any of the crew out on the street when we were out there today. Touchdown a moment ago. The Aztecs have never led in this football game. Come out to the 20. It was tied at 7, tied at 10, tied at 17, and Carson Roberts going to try and move ahead a little bit when we come back. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Welcome back, everyone, to Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive Game of the Week. The Falcons taking on the Aztecs. Aztecs with an 8-game winning streak on the line and a 10-game conference winning streak on the line. As we look at downtown San Diego.
We've had a back and forth battle between Owens and Humphrey, and now it's Owens' turn again at the fullback spot.
From the 25. Pitch. Got a blocker on the edge, and McVay brought down to the 37. Chris Cotter, what's going on this great Saturday?
All right, let's start with the ACC championship game right now over on ABC after a bizarre failed fake punt attempt by Clemson. Marquise Williams finds Ryan Switzer right here. Carolina's on top, guys, late in the first half.
Boy, a Carolina win over #1 Clemson would really bring about a little bit of chaos. Or a lot of chaos.
It would shake some things up, but chaos is not a pit. It's a ladder.
Taking a shot up top, Roberts. And nobody home. Robinette running out of space on the sidelines. I guess there's no such thing as a little bit of chaos. I mean, it's either chaos or not, right? And we'll sort it all out Sunday at noon. Find out who's in, as the final 4 teams of the college football playoff will be revealed live on ESPN.
Well, the drama would certainly increase if North Carolina knocked off Clemson. If that doesn't happen, it may be chalk. Maybe favorites all the way.
2nd and 10. Roberts keeping it, has a little alley. Falls forward to about the 43-yard line. 3rd down coming up. He picked up 6. McGee making the tackle.
They're doing a much better job of staying out of that 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9 situation that they simply can't handle. Here at 3rd and 4, it doesn't remove the option. They can run option on 3rd and 4, and they've done a lot of that.
Air Force with 241 rushing yards. 3rd and 4. Roberts on the toss into the boundary, and well deciphered by that defense. Williams had nowhere to go. McGee and Casey making the tackle.
Numbers. They loaded up the box again, expecting that they wouldn't pass on 3rd and 4. And how about that tackle? KZ involved. Also a little help from, it looked like that
McGee who was in there?
Yep, it was McGee.
Yeah, McGee and Casey. And made him feel him a little bit too on that hit. Holder back there for this punt. Fair catch at the 26-yard line, and San Diego State 1st and 10 from their own 26 after the 35-yard punt and a chance to perhaps move ahead. Well, kick off your NFL Sunday with us an hour earlier. At 9 a.m. Eastern Time, it's NFL Insiders Sunday edition. Then at 10, Sunday NFL Countdown. Wendy Nix, Boomer, and the rest of the gang. A special early morning edition of the Insiders Countdown at 9 and 10 on ESPN. San Diego Chargers hosting the Denver Broncos here tomorrow.
Without Peyton Manning still for another week or two, it looks like.
Humphrey back in at tailback. Spent a lot of time on the sidelines during that last drive. Perhaps by design. Got a breather and didn't get much room there. Brought down to the 25 by Alex Hansen.
I expect San Diego State to go back to putting Humphrey in the slot. And that worked really well for them in the first half. And until Air Force proves that they can handle it, San Diego State should keep doing it. Move him out there and see what adjustments Air Force made during halftime.
Steve Russ, the defensive coordinator, trying to keep a handle and get a handle on Humphrey, who has 85 yards rushing, trying to add to that total here. Remember, coming into tonight, he had 8 consecutive 100-yard-plus rushing games. And on pace right now, at least, seemingly to get another one under his belt. Healy and Alexander in on that last tackle. And that's going to be the end, it looks like, of the third quarter of play, the last play. And Humphrey coming up limping a little bit on that right side, that right leg.
The end of the third quarter. Time out on the field.
He was shaken up last week as well. But this is a championship game. Strap it up. Tie it up. Let's go. And welcome back, everyone. Look at our game summary. Tied at 17. As expected, a lot of running of the football today. The number 3 offense, rushing offense in the country against the number 4 rushing defense.
How about the battle between the two friends, Owens and Pumphrey? 148 for Owens and Pumphrey with 152 all-purpose yards. They're having a pretty good battle.
3rd and 8 for the Aztecs, trying to stay on the field. In the slot, caught. Hazley still on his feet. Chapman hasn't thrown it a lot, but he's been effective when he has.
This is all about Chapman. We talked about his confidence and his poise growing in the first half. Watch him stand in here and take this shot. Ooh, right in the mouth. He stood in there and delivered that on target.
Yeah, Brody Hicks came in and drilled him, but that's the look at the other end. The catch by Hazley, 44 yards in all, and a huge conversion for the Aztecs. Penny, touchdown San Diego State. There's a bunch of Penny fans here, and here's why.
Well, just watch right here. Watch your fullback, Gordon, get in there and just deliver the crushing blow. Penny sees it, cuts off of it. Just an ISO play. And when your fullback can block like that, you can run for touchdown.
Man. Dakota Gordon deserves some of those game balls. Tonight after the Pac-12 title game, stick around for SportsCenter at Night with Scott Van Pelt. SVP will have highlights from a busy day in sports, plus a championship Saturday breakdown for you. SportsCenter at Night after USC and Stanford on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. Folks, we welcome you back to Dr. Pepper's Championship Drive, Game of the Week from the jewel of the West Coast, San Diego, California. Just outside the airport, great view.
We're jumping on that red eye back to the East Coast right after this game.
Nice.
Some of us aren't as lucky to just pop down 43 minutes.
On the return, this is McVay, got an alley. McVay with a great return out near midfield at the 45. Chris Cotter, what do you have for us?
2 for 4 you guys to start in the Pac-12. Stanford and USC, and despite being outgained by a healthy margin in this game, USC hanging around here. Jaleel Pinner with the touchdown catch there, PAT blocked. It's the Cardinal on top on ESPN. Meanwhile, on ABC, Clemson's coming right back. They scored to take a 21-16 lead at the half, guys.
All right, Chris, back here. Ball at the 44-yard line for the Falcons. A 35-yard kickoff return by McVay.
They've got to open up a little bit and take their shots throwing on first down. They've run 26 of their last 28 plays.
Well, there's an answer right there. Roberts creasing that defense. Roberts! And they finally drag him down by the collar, and that's a flag at the 4-yard line. Malik Smith horse-collared him, thus the flag, and a great sprint by Roberts of 51 yards. That's an answer.
Huge answer.
This place got real quiet.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle. Defense number 7. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Watch the lead play here. Roberts just gets in behind Owens. Owens becomes his lead blocker there and gives him a crease. And you'll see the horse collar right at the end, right there, dragging down from behind, grabbing the back of the collar.
First and goal in a blink. Roberts under center.
Same play.
Tried to follow his guard and is brought down about a foot shy of the end zone by Jake Feely.
It's the same play that they ran before.
He just kind of tiptoes his way into a seam there.
Well, he's buying a little bit of time and reading this with some patience, letting his fullback go through and then letting his guard come around and then getting in behind them.
Approaching 300 yards rushing as a team now with 289. Keeps it himself again. They got a little bit of push up front. Still no signal. Looks like they're going to mark it short.
Yeah.
They're about a foot away. Maybe less. Is this where that size discrepancy works against Air Force?
It does, but low man wins down here. What I'm a little bit surprised about is that, you know, they sort of abandoned their triple option down here, you know, ball security and all. But they can still run their speed option where the quarterback comes out and heads to the perimeter right away.
That far away from the end zone. Inches.
Is the ball was short of the goal line when the runner was down. It's under review.
Well, they're going to take another look. Troy Calhoun, the head coach of Air Force, vehement with one of the officials down there. Here's a look at that last play.
Yeah,
there's a massive body.
I don't know how you determine anything from that. What, left foot, right foot, guess?
Honestly, Rod, you played. Is this one of the most inexact sciences in all of sports?
It
Where
makes
do you
no
spot
sense.
it?
You can't. Now, if you want to develop some technology that does it for you.
Okay. Stanford.
It might be time for that. I mean,
use a laser?
We got officials out there eyeballing where the guy goes down. I'll put it here. And sometimes we see bad spots. You're like, that's off by a yard.
Yeah, it seems pretty prehistoric. But also, some would argue that's the charm of the game. 12:46 to go. And a hotly contested Mountain West championship game. Humphrey looking to get back into the ball game, but right now watching his defense do their thing. And boy, Chapman has acquitted himself very well in this ball game, making his first start of the season. He's 7 of 10 passing for 142 yards and a touchdown pass as well.
Well, we had the sense in about the second quarter, I think it was. You started to see him get comfortable, relax, made a couple throws. And then this third quarter, he stood in and took some hits. I mean, he's just grown each and every quarter. Look at his numbers now, 7 of 10 tonight. And remember, Air Force came in with the plan of shutting down the run and forcing Chapman to throw it 25 times or more, but it's been the kind of pace that Chapman likes.
Maxwell Smith, meanwhile, sidelined with that torn anterior cruciate ligament in his knee. Suffered it last week of the regular season. So here's the call finally.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. It's third down.
Is this 4th down territory? They're going for it regardless, you think?
I think so.
Yeah. Carson Roberts under center. 3rd and goal.
I think this is the time you go back to Owens.
And the officials throw a flag before anything. And that's going to go against the Falcons, it looks like.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 85, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That may change the analysis about a 4th down if you get to one.
That's only the 2nd 5-yard penalty today.
Yeah, I don't think they will throw the ball down here on this 3rd down. This really isn't their forte unless it's something unique, like, you know, maybe some sort of a reverse or something, reverse pass.
They got Robinette, number 9, who's a 6'4" receiver.
They're not real adept, though, at throwing that fade.
Keeps it himself, and he tripped. He tripped when it appeared he had an alley to the end zone. They spot it at about the 2. And 4th down, and somebody lost a hat down there for the Falcons as well. Looks like it was Alex Norton, the center, so he's going to have to come out of the ball game.
Yeah, and keep that in mind. You might think about going for it on 4th and 2, but not when you're putting a new center in on the goal line who's been standing on the sideline for most of the ball game.
Dylan Vale will come in and snap. You see him warming up.
Yeah, and I think if you're trying to do that on the goal line here, if I were coaching Air Force, I'd go, you know what, let's take the 3 here, because so many bad things can happen bringing in someone code to snap it on the goal line when you try to pick it up on 4th down here.
Let's see if Troy Calhoun will gamble here on 4th down with the brand new center in at that exchange point, the vital exchange point.
It's also rather loud down there. This is something that the new center hasn't heard.
They're going to go for it here on 4th and goal. Owens behind Roberts. The toss, McVay, touchdown, Air Force. Boy, they rolled the dice and came up huge. Tyler Williams with a nice block on the edge.
Hey, we'll give all credit to Vale for coming in cold from the sideline and getting a good, clean snap on a pitch. This is not turn around and hand it off. When you come in off the bench cold and your quarterback has got to get out of the way and make the pitch, that is awesome.
Boy, never has a center quarterback exchange been so scrutinized.
Don't ignore
on a Saturday today.
Yeah, how about Tyler Williams out there getting in the way blocking to give McVay a way to go to get into the end zone.
That's the 3rd touchdown of the day, by the way, for Timothy McVay. And we are tied at 24. Remember, McVay had 5 touchdowns. There he is last week. He's at 3 right now. Roberts and Vale got that exchange down, and McVay took care of the rest of the business.
The 2015 Sports Authority Mountain West Football Championship game. Brought to you by Sports Authority. Visit us at sportsauthority.com. And Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
Tie game once again. A look at the local Christmas parade here in the San Diego area. And let's go downstairs to Quinn.
Biggest concern for Troy Calhoun, kickoff coverage. 118th ranked in the country. He knows this unit lacks speed. Facing Rashad Penny, 20 in black. Twice this season he has returned kicks for touchdowns. I think Air Force is insane if they kick the ball to 20 in black.
Yeah, they've continued to do that tonight too, Quinn. Great point.
Well, Penny is the special teams player of the year in the conference.
And second in the country in kickoff return yards. He's going to get a chance right here. And contained along the sideline. They stop him up shy of the 30-yard line. Chris Cotter, what's going on?
All right, guys, a shootout has broken out in Santa Clara over on ABC. Mr. All-Purpose Christian McCaffrey is going to take this past 67 yards. Can't believe he got caught from behind, but he does at the 7-yard line. And it's time for his quarterback, Hogan. Takes it to the house here. This is right after USC had scored 14 unanswered. It's 2016 Cardinal on top on ESPN.
Hey, Jonesy, how about McCaffrey? 366 all-purpose yards, breaks Barry Sanders' record. Those are New York City-worthy numbers, I think.
Yeah, get a ticket for him.
Yeah.
Heisman-esque. Back here, this is Pumphrey trying to pump up the volume on offense. He's stopped up by Patrick Healy. And the fans here for the Aztecs taking offense to that way that he was brought down to the ground by Healy. 2nd and 7 coming up for San Diego State. Chapman getting the start at quarterback tonight. If you're just joining us, making his first start of the season, filling in for Maxwell Smith, who tore his ACL in the last regular season game last week. And Chapman has done a great job. On 2nd and 7, Pumphrey stopped up. It's going to be 3rd and long coming up. Ross making the tackle for the Falcons.
What did Rocky Long tell us this week? He said Chapman was going to be a good quarterback. He just didn't know if it would be Saturday night.
Yeah, he wanted it to be Saturday.
Yeah. Just worried about the inexperience. I think he can rest assured that Chapman is on his way.
3rd down coming up.
You see me fell over there?
They're going to pass. Chapman buying a little time and then wisely throwing it away. So it's 4th down. The Falcons will get off the field. Good pressure by Patrick Healy and Alex Hansen.
An important stop for the Aztecs there. That was right after they got a score. Tie ball game. They should get this ball with solid field position.
Garrett Brown back at his own 25. A lot of interested spectators between here and Colorado Springs. All points between. Hoping for a Falcon win as they'll get possession here. Brown on the punt return. Tackled at the 25-yard line. Roberts led them into the end zone on the last drive, trying to do it again to take the lead here in the 4th quarter. From the American Conference Championship earlier today, won by the Houston Cougars. We'll be watching games all night. We'll determine the top 4 playoff teams and who will play on New Year's Eve. It all happens tomorrow night at noon on ESPN, also streaming live on Watch ESPN. I'm sure that there's a lot of espresso and coffee and Red Bull with all that football that you're watching. Meanwhile, Malik Smith making that tackle against McVay. Let's take a look at our AT&T College Football Playoff rankings.
Well, this is going to go deep into the night. You can figure that Alabama is in, Oklahoma is in, but all these other teams are still playing. Iowa, Michigan State, Stanford. They're a bunch of teams, including Clemson, still in dogfights.
If Stanford wins and Clemson loses, it gets really, really interesting. Stanford looking good here in the 2nd half. Meanwhile, Air Force with Jacoby Owens doing a lot of the heavy lifting offensively, brought down by J.J. Whitaker. Hey, great finish coming up here, folks, by the way. And these two teams playing for a good bowl game.
Well, playing for that Mountain West Conference championship and maybe a shot at going to Hawaii or one of those other wonderful bowl games out there.
3rd and 5. Owens has 150 yards rushing. But he won't get enough on that play. Stoned at the line of scrimmage by Kyle Kelly. And the Aztecs defense is actually missing a key member today. And Christian Hayward. Playing without him, they lost their starting quarterback, Maxwell Smith, but Hayward was a big loss too.
Huge loss. And Kelly moved into the starting lineup, and Alex Barrett moved down from his defensive end spot to the nose tackle spot.
There's Michael Holder. He had a fumble earlier on the punt, which led to a Falcon touchdown. Fields it cleanly at the 27 and hit immediately. 41-yard punt, nothing on the return. Let's take a look at tonight's hard-working player, brought to you by Duluth. Well, we could say players, right, Ron?
Yeah, it's really cool. Good friends. Owens here showing you his good hard work and his 150-plus yards of the night. Then his good buddy from growing up, young childhood days, Pumphrey's had a big night. He's had a 24-yard catch, a 40-yard catch, and then run for another bunch of yards tonight. So these two guys have just been outstanding. 151 total yards for Owens, 154 for Pumphrey. And remember, these are two good friends who grew up together.
Playing Pop Warner together, and City of Las Vegas repping tonight on the field with those two guys. This is Chase Price running off tackle over the right side of that offensive line with Slater and Green. There's a look at Humphrey's buddy, his counterpart, Jacoby Owens, getting a breather on the sidelines. Let's see who can close this game out. San Diego State in uncharted territory of late. During that 8-game winning streak, closest game they had was a 14-point game twice. Chapman has a man open. Caught. Holder. First down at the 24. A 49-yard pickup.
There's the motion. You'll see that's Holder actually heading to the cross motion to the left, and they blow this coverage. They just don't pay attention to him. I mean, he just swims whoever gets in his way and is gone.
This time they're going to run it. Price comes out of the pack and is going to lose a few yards on the fringes of field goal range. Wow.
How about that throw?
Yeah. Hey, Chapman, let me get back to you, partner. Earlier, you gave him a B+, A-.
Yeah.
A little bit incomplete grade. What about now?
I'm a hard grader, but
I don't want your class.
He's around 94 now. He's jumped up from the 80s into the low 90s.
Man. You're the guy. You're the teacher that sends him to those extra tutor sessions.
I think a 90+ is a pretty good grade, don't you?
You're hard. 2nd and 16. Chapman brought down. There's a flag on the play, and boy, suddenly after a couple of negative plays, the Aztecs have that promising pass at the 32.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Boy, we talked about it, Rod. When you lose first down or have a negative play on first down, the analytics bear it out. It's tough to score.
It cuts your percentage of likelihood of scoring in half. I mean, generally there's about a 26-27% chance of scoring on first downs drives, and then when you have a negative play on your first down, it knocks you down to like 10, 11, 12%. It's crazy.
2nd and 27. Chapman 8 of 12 for 190 yards. They set up the screen and it's dropped. Humphrey was thinking about running before he caught it, and it's 3rd and long.
Well, I think right now you don't think in terms of getting the 27 yards back. You think in terms of where do you need to be to have a realistic shot at a field goal.
At the 42, you're talking about a 59-yarder. That's out of Hagman's range, although he does have a couple of 54-yarders.
You see that green line right there? That's where they need to get to have comfort with their field goal.
Let's see how much they can get here. Chapman finds a receiver, and they're in field goal range after that catch.
Found the judge.
Yep, Eric Judge.
Found the judge.
13-yard gain, and maybe enough to get 3 points out of it. We'll find out as the field goal unit comes onto the field, led by Donnie Hagman.
Well, good job of finding some time, extending the play, and then finding Eric Judge along the sideline to give them a chance at taking the lead here.
From 47 yards out. Made one from 22 earlier. And this one's going to be good. The Aztecs with a 3-point lead and 5:10 to go. Can the Falcons respond as time winds down? We're in California, folks, and only in Cali do you see stuff like this.
Dog's life, man.
It's a
dog's life.
Well, watch my man just ride this wave for what it's worth.
Hey, even the dogs out here ride the waves. How about that?
They're chill. Well, time winding down in the Sports Authority Mountain West Championship. 5:10 to go. The Falcons trailing by 3. They'll get the ball here on the kickoff. They're going to come back out as we toss it back to the studio. And Chris Cotter, what's going on, Chris?
All right, guys, Pac-12 is getting interesting over on ESPN. Cody Kessler trying to lead Stanford back as these two guys, or USC back rather, as these two teams go back and forth. And Blake Martinez, what a great year he's had. It causes a fumble. Solomon Thomas picks up for the score. 27-16 right now, Cardinal on top.
Hey, and Blake Martinez had a bad ankle. He hurt in practice this week, and Stanford was concerned that he wasn't going to be able to play tonight. He makes a big play.
Wow. Air Force with some work to do.
You know, Jonesy, this might be Air Force's last possession of the game.
They hand it off to Jacoby Owens, who picks up about 3 on the play.
They don't throw it very well. Their 2-minute drill is not really your typical 2-minute drill, throw the ball around. Look at this. They're a rushing team, 303 yards, 6 passing yards.
Boy, San Diego State really balanced conversely. 2nd and 7 coming up. McVay in motion. They give it to Owens again. You know, amongst the concerned alumni watching, or at least recording this game, Greg Popovich, the head coach and general manager of the NBA champ San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, a graduate of Air Force Academy. Coach Calhoun says he's been great for the program. Unfortunately, not able to watch tonight. They got a game right now against the Celtics, but he's been a big supporter.
What do you think Pop would tell him right now about this 3rd down situation?
Stick with your system. Do what you do best. On 3rd and 5, they're going to pass it. He looked deep and came to McVay underneath. And it's going to be 4th down coming up. No gain on the play.
Pop would not be happy.
No.
That's not sticking with what you do best.
Munson and Sanchez in on the tackle. And they're going to call a timeout.
Well, I think Calhoun is thinking about this situation. 4th and 5. Is this your last opportunity? It might be.
The champions will officially be crowned. 4th down, and the Falcons are going to punt. And At least lining up to do so, which they will. And it's a good punt. Takes a Falcon bounce all the way down to the 23-yard line with 3:35 to go. Can the Aztecs, after that 47-yard punt, put this game on ice? And boy, the story of the day has turned out to be Christian Chapman. He has been the picture of efficiency.
He's been nailed. I mean, when he has pressure on, he's stood in there, he's taken the hits and delivered the big throw down the field. He's played well under pressure, literally under pressure with guys in his face.
So what's it take to get an A+ in your class then, Mr. Professor? You get B+, A-.
Yeah, well, if he had thrown it 25 or 30 times, he probably would have that A+. It's only been 14 attempts. Right now, it's about running out the clock or making Air Force use your timeouts.
3:35 to go. This is Chase Price keeping that clock running. 3:27 to go. Hansen making the tackle along with Steelhammer. The Falcons need a play here. 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6.
This is the critical down for Air Force. They only have 2 timeouts. They want to stop right now and use a timeout.
The Aztecs on the cusp of their 20th conference championship. And Rocky Long, the Mountain West Conference Coach of the Year, watching pensively from the sidelines. Trying to put this game away. 2nd and 6, little play fake. Chapman gonna run. Let's see where his knee went down. Where do they spot this? They're gonna spot it short by about 1 yard and some. He gained 5.
How crazy was that? I'm surprised that they actually.
Fans are booing the spot.
Ruling on the field. The runner was short of the line to gain.
I thought he was short.
Second charge timeout. Air Force. 30-second timeout.
Troy Calhoun pointing to the clock.
Well, I think he might have been pointing towards the replay and saying, he's further back than just, a yard. I think he wants the ball.
He's at least 1.5.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long 3rd and 1. And this is maybe the biggest play of the ball game defensively for the Falcons. They need a stop no matter where they're spotted. Were you surprised that they even gave a pass look?
Yeah, I was. I thought they would simply run it. But Chapman did a good job of not wasting a down and throwing the ball and stopping the clock, but tucking it
San Diego State,
and picking up the most he could.
30-second timeout.
All right, so San Diego State taking a timeout. 2 remaining. What a game this has turned out to be. The Aztecs looking for their 9th consecutive win, looking to improve their bowl options with a championship here, their 20th in school history, and Air Force looking for one last gasp defensive effort. What button do you press right now defensively if you're the Falcons?
I think you have to roll the dice. I mean, I think you have to think in terms of a 3rd and short running play, and you've got to bring your pressure and try and get that stop, and then use your timeout, get the ball back. Now, they might elect not to use the timeout if they get the stop and try and save it and let some of the clock run. Take your choice on that one, but I don't think there's any question. They've got to sell out here to stop this 3rd and short run.
All eyes on this one big play for the Falcons. And for the Aztecs, boy, if they convert here, it might be ball game. Here we go. 3rd and 1. Play action. Bootleg. Chapman racing and gets it. And then some. Stays in bounds. Wow, what a play. And he got a nice block from Gordon to get around the edge.
What a surprise. Gordon with a good block. But Chapman sowed the fake handoff and then ran for his life to pick up the 1st down. A great job of staying in bounds. Clock stops on the 1st down, but then continues to run.
2.5 minutes to go. And we talked about, as Dakota helped him out a little bit, Chapman with a little bit more mobility than Smith at quarterback, and it certainly proved to be worth a lot there. Price got about 3, and Air Force down to its final timeout. Max Smith talking about, hey, I'm going to give it a shot for the bowl game. I'm going to try rehabbing even before his operation.
Yeah, well, he's got to have surgery anyway, he says. So why not put it off and see if he can play? But I'm not sure that on one leg he's better than Chapman on 2. Chapman looks like he can handle the bowl game.
Yeah, Rocky Long with the decision to make. We're not trying to stir anything up.
No.
There's no quarterbacking controversy.
You wanted
here.
the A+. Would you be happy with the A? The A.
You know, that really affects the GPA.
Oh, you're into grade inflation.
I need the A+.
You want grade inflation.
I mean, a championship performance, if they hang on to win. My first start of the season, I'm efficient in the passing game. I come up with a clutch run late in the game. I'm going to the professor's office and saying, hey,
argument,
what do I need to do?
Strong argument.
You know, is it personal?
Strong argument.
2nd and 7. Price stopped at the line of scrimmage. And Air Force out of timeout as we approach 2 minutes to go. 3rd down coming up for the Falcons. And they're hoping, as Carson Roberts is right there on the sidelines, for one more opportunity.
Well, if you're Rocky Long, you think about the clock and how much time you can burn off of it. Even if you don't pick up this 3rd down, you could burn an awful lot on the 4th down, even if you decide to punt it.
Looking for a stop here on 3rd and 6. Handoff, and the Falcons come up with a play and a stop. Price with nowhere to go on the right side of the line. Brody Hicks, the first one to get there for the Falcons. And Carson Roberts getting his hat on and strapping up for one last gasp effort.
Well, he's going to have well under a minute when he gets the ball back. If you're San Diego State, I think you burn the entire 17 seconds and use a timeout.
Rocky Long letting it run. Rocky keeping an eye on that clock.
Yeah, it's going to be tough on Air Force. Again, they're not a hurry-up offense, 2-minute drill passing team. So less than 44 seconds with the ball and perhaps the length of the field to go. Or not the length of the field, but a chance to get into field goal range. That's going to be challenging.
Yeah.
Delay of game.
Let's go back to the studio and Chris Cotter.
5-yard penalty, 4th down. Please reset the game clock, 45 seconds.
Chris?
Now 0-4 from downtown this year. The lob ahead, Jalen Jones misses everything.
We're going to stay right here. All right, back here, 4th down. After taking the penalty, the Aztecs, Steve Brosey will punt from his own 31-yard line to Garrett Brown. Pardon me, Blaine punting to Garrett Brown. He watches it bounce all the way up to the 27. And the clock stops with 36 seconds to go. And a couple of opportunities here, Rod, to get in field goal range.
Well, it's going to be challenging. Again, this is not their forte, but the one guy who stands out for you who hasn't really been a factor is Jalen Robinette, 6'4", a guy who's averaged more than 20 yards a catch. But remember, San Diego State will play back.
Send out 4 receivers on this formation. 1st and 10 from the 22. Pass is complete out to the 35-yard line to Griffin, the tight end, and a first down with 32 seconds to go. A gain of 13. Roberts working out of the shotgun. A little blitz coming. Gets rid of it quickly. And another first down out at the 47 to Griffin again. 22 seconds
A
to
little
go.
aggressive by Rocky Long, bringing pressure and leaving spots open down the field.
Gonna spike it and stop the clock with 21 seconds to go. Strable, their place kicker this year, has a long of 45 yards. They got a little bit of work to do here. But it wouldn't be impossible. Low snap. Roberts fires complete at the 50. And the clock running.
Almost better off not catching that one.
They got to get going here. They got to get lined up and spike. 5 seconds to go. Wow. That one hurt.
Yeah.
It took a little too long. You said it was almost better if you dropped it?
Yeah. Would have stopped the clock and given them a shot at 2 more plays. The tackle on the field of play caused the problem.
Do you even think about a field goal here, or are you talking about
I don't think you can kick a field
into the
goal.
end zone?
I think you got to go all the way. There's no way to stop the clock and get the 15, 20 yards you need.
Right. And
you got to throw it all the way down or do the lateral play and try and get in there.
Low snap for Roberts. He's going to throw it up top for the Hail Mary. Incomplete. And the Aztecs have their 20th conference championship. San Diego State with their 11th conference victory and 9th straight win overall. And the 2015 Mountain West champions.
And what a performance by the first starting quarterback in this ball game, a guy who sat on the bench all year, Christian Chapman. Here's the final play. Robinette, 6'4", trying to get up there for it, can't do it. Ball game over. San Diego State, champions of the Mountain West Conference.
Boy, when things looked so dire, you go back to a week ago in their game to end the regular season. Maxwell Smith injured, tore his ACL. They wondered who would be the quarterback. Well, Christian Chapman got the job done today. San Diego State wins. Coming up next, college basketball as A&M takes on Arizona State. For Rod Gilmore and Quinn Kesnick, I'm Mark Jones saying thanks for watching so long from San Diego.